Hi, if you're watching this video, I'm probably not alive anymore. So I want to tell you my story so that you know who I am and why I did it. My name is Alexa. I'm a student at this school, and I died at this school. It's all very sad, but this is life. I'll tell you all about it in order. The morning started as usual, except that I was watching the new For Dinner TV cooking channel all night and just got stuck on these videos. And yes, I love cooking and eating something delicious. So I watched the video all night and imagined how much I could cook tomorrow as soon as I got home from school. And in the morning, I was awfully sleepy. I was falling asleep on the move. When I got to school, I fell asleep on the school bus, went to my first lesson, and fell asleep at the desk. The teacher was very unhappy and sent me home, saying she would definitely invite my parents to talk. But I assured her that it wasn't necessary. I was fine. But it was almost the same in the second lesson, and I realized I wasn't okay at all. But I didn't want to go home, or I would have to admit that I hadn't slept all night. Then I came up with this idea. We had a storage room with old sports equipment, and I decided to take a nap there on sports mats. So I quietly climbed in there and fell asleep. I slept for 5 hours. My gosh, almost all the lessons were over. I had to run to the last lesson and then the bus. I opened the door, but it was dark in the hallway. That's weird. Usually there's light everywhere. Is there a power outage? Well, the generator should be running now. I was walking down the hallway. It was dark, not a soul. It was very strange. I was walking down a completely empty school. But where is everyone? What happened? Ahead of me, I saw a dim light and ran there. It was a biology room. The light was on, but no one was there. Just a skeleton and posters on the walls. I went to the skeleton. Hi, are you alone too? Where is everyone? I took his hand. At that moment, something exploded and the lights went out. I screamed wildly and ran away. There was something left in my hand. What is it? Ah! That's the skeleton's hand! I dropped it and ran away. Gotta hide somewhere. The room. There's a room up ahead. I ran in there and closed the door. I leaned against the door with my forehead and tried to restore my breath. It's horrible. What's going on? I turned around. In the dark of the office, I saw some people pulling their hands on me. Awful. They were zombies. Sure, zombies. All the movies were true. I was pushing the door. It wouldn't open. Turning around, I saw people still standing there pulling their hands on me. I yanked the door out. I rushed down the hall, saw the door open, and rushed there. It was the teacher's room, so I ran in and closed the door. It was very, very, very scary. And if the teachers became zombies, what would they do? What should I do? I closed my eyes, sat in the corner of the room, and was afraid to move. I don't know how long I sat like that. I was scared, but my body grew numb, so I thought if it was quiet, I could get up. I turned on the light. No one was there. But what happened? Where was everybody? Who would I ask? I started looking for my phone, but it wasn't in my pockets or my backpack, and my locker key wasn't there either. I had to remember where I lost it all. I sat in my chair and I started to recall. Yeah, I put it all in the closet. The key in my pocket and went to sleep. So I must have dropped the key in the storeroom. Well, what to do? Not going back for sure. There's someone there. But I had to call, see what happened, if my parents were alive, or if I was the last person alive at all. I started looking for the flashlight, but I couldn't find it. Then I quietly went out and went to the scout's office. They have a lot of things for hiking, or maybe even food. Oh yes, food. I'm so hungry at that moment because I didn't have lunch. I walked quietly along the wall. I saw no one. But I remember from the zombie movies, they stay in a room until they are disturbed, and then they start to chase the victim and try to eat her. Eat. I'm so hungry after all. I'm not gonna think about zombies because my stomach is so growling. I'm gonna wake up all the zombies. Dining room. I should start with the dining room. But no, I can't without a flashlight. But what if I turn on the light? Are zombies afraid of the light? Probably not. They're not vampires, and it's harder to run away in the dark than with light. And that's when I turned on the light. The light was very bright, but it wasn't so scary. I went to the dining room, turning on the light everywhere on the way. The dining room was quiet and empty, and I started looking for food. But it was nowhere to be found. It was strange. If everyone had been running away in a hurry, then where was the food? There must have been someone still alive who took all the food. I went to the scout room, turning on the lights everywhere along the way. There, I found everything I needed. A sleeping bag, a dry ration pack, and even a GoPro camera. And from that moment on, I started recording my video blog. The food was delicious. I ate and decided that for today, I had enough of adventures to rest and just fell asleep in the sleeping bag. I woke up. The clock showed that it was in the morning of the next day. Immediately, I found a flashlight, a camping shoulder blade, and decided that it was a good weapon, so I could go look for the key. I went to the biology room, lit a flashlight, and found out that a bulb had exploded yesterday, and I was so scared that I left the skeleton without its hand. I went further, to a place where there were people. What room was that? I shone a flashlight and saw that the very door, slowly sneaking up to it, looked in and saw the same figures in the light of the lantern. They still did not move and were pulling their hands toward me. What are they? I found a switch on the wall. Zing! They're dummies. It's a sewing room. How could I forget? But there was no key either, so I boldly went to the teacher's room. It was still quiet in here and... Yes, there were keys in the corner over there. Hooray! I'm going to get my phone and find out. I grabbed the keys, just ran to the locker. I'll find out soon enough. Here's my locker. I open it, but where's my phone? It's gone. Where is it? And my backpack is gone. What's wrong? I was depressed. So what happened? I went back to the scouts room and just wrapped up in my sleeping bag and decided to record a farewell video. One day they'll find me, and with me they'll find the video and everyone will know how I was left alone, how I starved to death because there was hardly any food left. They'll know how I hid from the zombies. How horrible is all this? I will never see my family. How could they survive this horror? How did it end for them? I guess by now, zombies have destroyed everything and people are sitting without the internet. Stop! If there's a light, maybe there's still internet. I must run to the computer room. I ran across the school, completely forgetting about safety. I had to find out everything. Suddenly, I saw a dog in front of me. A dog? Where did the dog come from at school? I stopped. It stopped too. Zombie! I screamed and ran the other way. The dog rushed after me. I ran down the dark corridors, lighting my way with a flashlight. It ran after me. I listened to its breath. It kept up. Gosh, dogs run faster than humans. It'll eat me. I saw some open room and ran in there, closed the door. The dog ran to the door and started barking. It skewered the door, growled, and barked. Well, why would a zombie dog eat me? It's terrible. Suddenly, it stopped barking and left. It was weird. Maybe it knows the other entrance to this room. No, zombies can't think. But what if they can? I turned on the light and started to look around the room. But there were no other entrances. Only a window. And there was a person outside the window. Or not? I turned off the light and lied on the floor, getting ready to die. They found me after all. Spike, where are you taking me? What did you find there? Who's there? I heard a voice in the hallway. I covered my ears with my hands and I closed my eyes. The man started opening the door. It's over. But I won't give up. I grabbed the chair and rushed on the man, but I tripped and fell down with the chair at the man's feet and started screaming loudly. Maybe the noise would scare him away? That's when the dog started licking me. No, don't eat me! Ah! The lights went on. A policeman was standing over me and a dog was next to me. They were both looking at me. It's okay, he told me. We've been looking for you for the second day and you're here. It's a good thing that I and Spike noticed the light at the school and decided to check it out. Come on, Alexa, your parents are waiting for you. And here I am at home. Everybody's very happy. I've been examined by doctors. I'm okay. And you know what really happened? No, not the zombie apocalypse. But the coronavirus quarantine started. They let everyone go home to isolate themselves. Yes, it turns out it was all over the news. But I don't like news channels. I prefer channels about animated stories. If you liked this story, like it and subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell on so you don't miss anything important.
Hi, my name is Nancy. My boyfriend, Steve, who I love insanely, always looks back at other girls. Sometimes he even openly admires them. I'm devastated to see that. That's my problem. At first, I was hysterical, but Steve would just disappear for a few days. Then I decided to be positive and gave him all sorts of nice surprises and gifts. But in the end, he dumped me. Usually, when I feel bad, I go for a walk in the park and try to distract myself from my thoughts. I was surprised when the old lady next to me started talking. She introduced herself as Goody and said that I needed good advice, and said she could help me. When I saw her intelligent face, for some reason I trusted her and told her my story. When she listened, she said that she saw no problem and if I paid $100, she would give me good advice. Because good advice costs money, I was outraged and proudly left. I kept suffering until I remembered that old lady's intelligent face. I took money from my mother, went to the park. To my surprise, old lady Goody was there. When she got the money, she said, "You know what, baby? You look like an already read book. You're not interesting to talk to anymore. You're nothing. So your Steve lost interest in you." What? So I paid the money to hear insults about me? I told her a bunch of insults like, "And what you've accomplished in life? You're probably living on a tiny pension," and left. Then she shouted after me to bring another $100 and I'll get the most important advice. But I kept thinking about Steve. It was impossible not to fall in love with him. In the beginning, he was a fountain of jokes, pranks, funny and cute words, and all of them were dedicated only to me. One day, I saw that old lady on the social networks. I don't know, maybe it just seemed like that. Then, after all, I decided to go to her. She had a very intelligent face after all. When I came to the park, She was already there, and she also scolded me for deciding so long. Instead of insulting me, she asked me what I love most in life. I began to tell her that as a child, I loved to run, climb trees, and read all day long, doing sports. The old woman said, "You have to do your favorite thing to become yourself, to be filled with life, the strongest emotions, energy. Then your life will change in a way that you could not imagine even in the most daring fantasies." I understood what to do. I opened the gym and filled it with exercise equipment and became a fitness trainer. Apparently, I took up this business with great enthusiasm that people fell for me. My life was spent training, communicating with clients who became my friends. In short, my life has changed by 180 degrees. At Christmas, we had a loud party for the opening of the new gym. We invited the mayor of the city, media representatives, and other organizations for a healthy lifestyle. My old lady, Mrs. Goody Claus, also came to give a speech and gave me a $1,000 certificate. And as for Steve, he's our promoter and he hands out flyers. Every once in a while, Steve calls me and asks for a relationship with him. Well, I don't know what to do. Like, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, come to the Nancy and Goody Claus Fitness Center.